Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Hope you had a really good Passion Week. All right, Exodus chapter 3 is our DT, and it's that momentous moment, defining moment for Moses, that burning bush moment, right? And it says, I will turn aside to this great sight, yet it was not consumed. And Moses said, I will turn aside to see this great sight, why the bush is not burned. When the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called to him out of the bush, Moses, Moses, and he said, here I am. So this, people note that the bush is burning, the sight of the bush is burning in the wilderness is not an uncommon sight. So it's not like, whoa, what's going on over there? But Moses sort of looking at it, and then he realized that bush is burning, but it was not consumed. So he must have looked at it for a while, and then when he turns aside to see this great sight, and it seems to say in verse 4, when the Lord saw that he turned aside. So then God calls out to him. One thing to remember is that by the time Moses sees this sight, it's been 40 years after that huge disappointment of being chased out of Egypt. And it's been 40 years of being a shepherd in a foreign land. And this situation is actually a situation that would have hardened anyone with a deep-seated cynicism. But one thing that we know actually from this short description is that Moses was not someone with like deep-seated cynicism who's just like, I don't care, whatever kind of attitude. He seemed to have room in his heart to still wonder, to still think, oh, what's that about? And to draw near and to say, let me go see and take a look at this great sight. And then God calls out to him, and I think that's very meaningful, right? For example, like this past Sunday, like to realize, wow, in the midst of shelter in place, 400 plus people got saved, really? And we can respond to that with let me go see what is this great sight? What is this thing that God has been doing? Or you could have a whatever attitude, whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I think thinking about what happened this weekend and just thinking about Easter and that video and all those salvations, that was sort of like this moment for me. It kind of resonated with today's DT for me because I don't know, as I thought about Moses in the desert and just there doing his thing with the sheep and thinking, okay, this is my life now for 40 years and very mundane, and then being able to turn and see this and recognizing, I guess in the next passage, God tells him you're standing on holy ground. And that was sort of like Easter, just personally, as I experienced it and thought about it. This past year, it was really challenging and there were a lot of struggles, and I just, kind of getting through each day and trying to figure out COVID and seeing a lot of things about myself, as well as all of us trying to figure out this online world and doing a lot of work that was sort of pretty tedious. And even leading up to Easter, a lot of us did that, and then to see that there were all these salvations and people, literally their lives were changed. I mean, it's not just things we're saying to hype ourselves up, but people got saved this past year. And it is like a holy ground moment where I recognize, wow, God was so active despite our challenges. And at the moment that I see that that's so amazing and awesome, I also kind of recognize, man, I was so clueless so many times to this fact that God is at work. And so it's just something that really resonated with me after what we experienced this weekend.
So let's become people, make sure that we do not lose this ability to turn aside to see this great sight. Well, how sad of a life and how poor of a life it would be if you would see something like this, and instead of turning aside to see it, you just go, we have this kind of whatever, ho-hum kind of attitude.
Every year kind of thing.
Yeah. So one more thing would be the picture of this burning bush. We talk about God. This picture of God as a fire is actually very, very prototypical and symbolic picture of God, and God is consuming fire, as it says in the scriptures. But in this case, it's kind of interesting because God is consuming fire, but this bush is not being consumed. And I mean, we've heard messages on this. You know, this picture of the burning bush with the bush not being consumed is a very symbolic picture of what God does in our lives. You know, to burn away the useless things, to burn away the dross. There's a song that we used to sing in the oldies. You know, to burn away the dross till nothing else remains but an undying love for you. That
About
song.
God.
Oh, it's about, yeah.
You said that like while looking at me. It's kind of
Oh,
little
that's kind of weird. You
little
think?
weird. Yeah.
I was just kind of checking to see if you liked the song, but
Yeah, I think you wanted me to sing along. But
yeah,
I
but
really
you
do.
didn't. Yeah. So anyway, so life and disappointments, right? Like we have certain egos, we have things that really God should consume and burn away, such as our ego, our self-confidence, which Moses had in the beginning. But 40 years in the desert, this picture of the burning bush where it's not being consumed anymore, where the dross has been burned away, is really a picture of what God did with Moses, right? During those 40 years. He's become a shepherd, and he's become, all the ego has been burned away. And so life and disappointments of life actually has a tendency to do that, right? It has a ability to crush our ego and our confidence. And man, that's a good thing. Let's let our ego and our pride burn away. Let the disappointments even of life burn away our pride and our ego. And what remains? What remains? What doesn't get consumed? That is what God is interested in. And once we are there, then we can, out of that fire, maybe we can hear God calling out our name. So
Amen.
I think that's what we can get out of this text. All right.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.